Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Professional People Podcast. On this episode, I have on Max and Josh from Odd Jobs LLC in West Bloomfield. These guys do a great job of landscape design and had a really cool story in how they've been able to grow their business in a short period of time and their plans for future growth. It's a great episode for anyone looking to start a business or looking to grow their young business. I hope you enjoy.
I have with me Max and Josh, the co-owners of Odd Jobs LLC. Super excited to have you guys here today. First ever time having two guests at one time on the episode, so very excited about this recording. And Josh or Max, so you guys want to start us off and tell us a little about Odd Jobs, how you got started, and where you guys got today?
Yeah, sure. So we're a construction landscape company. We do landscape design and build in West Bloomfield and Waterford. West Bloomfield, Waterford, Bloomfield Hills, basically everywhere in the Oakland County area. It started in 2016. I was in my garage doing a little bit of handyman work for my dad, and then just figured, hey, there's an opportunity here to work with other people in the area, pass out a lot of flyers, and, just started getting some interest in the area. And so year after year in college, I kept, building up the clients that we had and kind of, figuring out what was the best fit. We went from, leaf cleanups to mulch, everywhere in between. And then Max and I partnered up in 2019, right, Max?
No, it was 2017.
2017. Okay, sorry, I got the numbers mixed up. 2017, and then we started working together, doing a lot of work. Max has a lot of skill behind, what it takes to get certain types of projects done for construction, for landscape, and then I had a lot of the business knowledge, so it was the perfect mesh, a great team to work together. And then this year we just, blew up the business, did a lot of work together, got a lot of mentors, a lot of the good knowledge, some really good employees as well, and we've been rocking and rolling, installing patios, installing retaining walls, installing, what am I missing, Max? Patios, retaining walls, French drains.
So many things: fire pits, seating walls, outdoor kitchens.
Yeah, if anyone checks out their website, you can check out all that cool stuff. You guys do a great job of capturing your work.
Thanks, appreciate that.
So you guys, I know, Josh, when I was talking to you before the show here, you had told me you guys had doubled revenue growth over the past year. What kind of habits or tactics do you attribute that growth to?
Yeah, so this year we grew our business from $20,000 to $200,000 in sales, a little bit over that. So a lot of that, Max and I would probably say we'd attribute it to right knowledge, mentorship from the right people. So we got connected with a couple people in the area who had, a lot more knowledge than us around construction, around, what it takes to build a business. And we kind of just soaked up their knowledge and, learned a lot about sales, learned a lot about marketing, a lot about, Max, fill me in. What else do you think, really helped us grow this year?
I think taking massive action helped us a lot this year. There was a lot of times where things were a little bit cloudy or, foggy, not so clear, but we just pushed through it, made it happen, made it work, and got it done.
Yeah, Max, and you come from a military background. How has that helped you throughout your experience as a business owner?
I can't necessarily say that it's helped me, besides, having self-discipline, but the military world and the civilian world are so completely different. I had to completely relearn my way of leadership, and it's definitely an obstacle that I had to overcome this year.
Yeah, Max, tell them a little bit about what you mean between, handling people in the civilian world versus, in the military.
So in the military, it's a lot of, firm reinforcement on not making mistakes twice, and just making sure you're set up, you're good to go, your friends are set up and good to go, you all have the right things you need to do the right jobs. And it's just when you mess up in the military, you get a lot of yelling and physical punishment. I wouldn't necessarily call it punishment, but just reinforcement. And I don't know, it's just way different. Like people out here, their skin's a little soft, so you got to be a lot nicer to people.
Gotta walk on some eggshells sometime.
Yeah, definitely. So I definitely had to learn to control my anger as well.
Yeah, I think as a business owner, that landscape has changed so much just in the past few years here. Just got to be a lot softer and more understanding, and just, you know, word things differently so that it comes out that you're trying to help instead of, you know, trying to discipline or reinforce while you're still trying to do that at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
What would you guys say some of your biggest challenges have been as business owners here, especially being young business owners?
Yeah, probably figuring out, you know, strengths and weaknesses. There's parts, you know, that Max knows that I know best, and there's parts that I know that Max knows best. So it's kind of figuring out, you know, when not to step on Max's feet, and then vice versa. You know, if Max says, "Hey, we need 3/4 inch, this type of, you know, gravel for this type of base, or we're going to use this type of machine for this type of project." I'm not the most, you know, expert person when it comes to all information around, you know, equipment or materials, but when it comes to, you know, finances or marketing or sales, that's more, you know, more of my ballpark. So it's really just trusting your partner and figuring out, you know, what do you know that I know you know really well, you know, where can I hand off to you, and, you know, and vice versa.
Max, what would you say?
One of our biggest challenges.
Yep.
Definitely my biggest challenge was learning how to effectively and efficiently run a construction crew doing what we do. Because in the beginning, a lot of it was, hey, we just need this base, and then I'd bring the base, and then they'd install it and wait while I go get the next thing. And just learning how to organize and structure things so that you can get in and get out as quickly as possible while at the same time doing the least amount of damage.
Yeah, that's a super good point. And then some other smaller things along the way, you know, as you're learning about a new industry, you don't know what to charge, you don't know, you know, some of the important metrics to keep track of as you're growing a business. So different things like that are super important. Those are some struggles that we had, you know, we still have today. Yeah.
For sure. But you guys said that you've got a lot of help from mentors. Can you guys walk us through what seeking out those mentors, or how you found them, and then how you developed that relationship and how they helped you grow your business?
Yeah, for sure. So Max and I, one of our mentors, I'm going to talk about Brandon Max, or Max Brandon. So we have a mentor named Brandon. He works in Sterling Heights. He does construction. He grew his business from 300K to 2.2 million in, what was that, in 1 year. So we kind of just followed his exact footsteps to the T. And then he introduced us, not introduced so much, but just kind of, you know, opened our eyes to, not sure if you're familiar with Grant Cardone.
No.
Okay, well, Grant Cardone's a pretty renowned real estate guy, but really more so known for sales. So he introduced us to, you know, using Grant Cardone's information, and we kind of, you know, rolled with that and took all the sales, marketing tactics, tips, and then we just used that to grow the business a lot. So I think the mentor has been probably the biggest thing. I mean, otherwise, Max and I would have kept putting year by year and just growing, you know, in increments.
For sure. And can you talk a little bit about how you found him? Was it a friend of yours, or just seeking him out online? How did you find him?
Yeah, I actually found him because we needed help on a project, and I couldn't find someone to do a project for us. We didn't have enough labor. And I reached out to him. I was like, hey, you know, I see that you're local. Do you mind, you know, subcontracting for us? And he was like, you know, I see you do smaller jobs than I do. How about I mentor you? So he kind of turned the tables on us. And it was like, it was a pretty good, you know, relationship up front. So I thought it would be a good idea for us to, you know, take his lead. He had already grown his business. He had the equipment. He had the trucks. He had the employees. He had all the systems set up. So we kind of just followed his lead, and that was super helpful. What do you think, Max?
I definitely agree. I was a little iffy about Brandon at first because I did think that he was trying to steal our job and this and that, just little immature things that I was going through in my head. But he ended up being a very, very good mentor for us, and ended up being very great friends.
Yeah, but even aside from Brandon, we're in a construction mentorship group. So we have people from Michigan, people from Seattle, people from DC, people from Ohio, people from South Carolina, where Max is at right now. And all these different people have different, pieces of information, pieces of data that they've learned, over the years. So we kind of just take from all of them. There's about 50 people in the group. So we can always ask questions, hey, what base do we need? Hey, how do you guys recommend pricing the designs? Hey, how do you guys recommend, hiring employees? What do you do for payroll? Things like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I kind of have, in the insurance industry over here, we kind of have a similar thing with a bunch of CEO groups, or also just a group called IAOA, where a bunch of independent agency owners from across the country come together and just collaborate on ideas. And some of my best business ideas are just taking away ideas from others and tweaking them a little bit and making my own. And I just think that mentorship and collaboration with others in the industry is super important, especially for young business owners, no matter what the field, or young business professionals, is to find a mentor or people willing to share and just latch on to everything they have to teach you and learn and take away, and then just put your own twist on it and make it your own, so you're not stealing exactly what you're saying. But I love that you guys have sought that kind of mentorship and leadership from others in your industry out. That's super awesome.
I think one of the most important things is that the people that we're getting mentored by are relatively close in age. So a lot of people get mentors that are so far ahead of them that it's kind of hard to backtrack how they got there. But our mentors are 27, 28 years old. So they're so close in age that we can see that, it's doable. The potential's there. We can, kind of do what they did.
Sure. And another thing on that is just how quickly the times change. So it's super cool that you guys found someone who's just a couple years ahead of you, because, for me, if I go talk to an insurance agent who started his business in 1976, they were still shuffling papers across the board. So it's definitely times have changed.
Yeah.
That's good that, you have someone who's been there. It's still recent, and they've kind of seen the landscape of where the industry is today and where they think it's going to go in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
It's also great having mentors that have the same goals as you, and the same aspirations as you, because you could have a mentor who is a great mentor, but their hindsight is way different than yours, so they might be leading you in a direction that you not necessarily want to go.
I think that's a great point, Max. And I think that just sparked in my head that's an important hiring practice too, right? Hiring people who are the same goal oriented as you, and share the same vision of where they want the company to go. How have you guys, as young business owners, gone about that process of finding guys to bring on your crew? And I know, Max, you talked a little bit about managing, but how have you sought people out and brought them on to Odd Jobs?
Our only two employees that we have now are just very good friends of ours that we've known for a long time, and it just happened to work out that way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Awesome. So at the beginning of the year, we had, what was the most amount of employees we had at once, Max?
11.
Yeah, we had 11 employees at the top of the year, and it's easy to figure out very quickly, who's a good candidate and who's not.
Because the two guys we have now are, I'd say, at least 3 times more efficient than the 11 that we had.
Yeah.
So those two
quality
guys get
quantity.
Absolutely.
So Max, how did you kind of learn the technical skills other than from your mentor of the landscape design and work that you guys are doing?
So my father was very big into landscaping. He was always doing things around the house, and I just always grew up, helping him out, doing things to cars and planting flowers. And we actually built a pool in our backyard. It was above ground. Well, it was like half and half, but it wasn't any fancy, elegant stuff. But I still remember doing all these things, and I've always been crafty with my hands, and I like doing stuff, building things, and I don't know, it's just latched onto my brain. So it's just comes with me. That's who I am now. It's just designing things and building things, and it's just really cool to be able to watch it all come to fruition.
That's awesome. And Josh, on the other side of things, how has it been, developing those sales and management skills, kind of matching Max's skills on the other side of things?
Yeah, I think a lot of that just comes from like having some type of, social intelligence, knowing how to talk to people, what to say, how to motivate them. But more so on the sales side, a lot of that's learned, specifically I was doing sales before, but not the way that I'm doing sales now. It's a lot more strategic, a lot more outlined, a lot more, I just understand, what to do, what not to do, and essentially how to take the sale from interest all the way to an actual deal, to a closed project. So a lot of it's learned over the years from, the mentors, from Grant Cardone, from the sales platform that Max and I train on a lot. So, yeah.
That's awesome. And what kind of, before you get to the sales process, comes to marketing? And I know that you're doing pretty good stuff over there. I've seen your website and your social media. You guys are super active. What kind of tactics are you using, or what do you kind of try to focus on from a social media marketing aspect when growing your business?
Yeah, that's a super good question. So what I like to do for the marketing aspect is just get a lot of attention. Whatever it takes, put it out there. You don't really know what people like until people tell you what they like. So putting money behind, one ad or the next ad just to see what works best in the market, what people, react to, what they thumbs up, what they comment on, what they dislike, what they view the most, and then, just replicating it. Don't reinvent the wheel. Keep it simple. Keep it super simple, KISS, and, just keep the system going. What works, do it again, and, just keep going from there. But recently, we've been super active on Instagram. We got our biggest job of the year from Instagram. A cold lead just tagged us out of nowhere. Hey, can you guys do a project for us? And so Instagram's been super helpful. Facebook's been super helpful. Some individual sites here and there like Thumbtack, or a big one for us is Nextdoor, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
Nextdoor is huge for us. So like our first year, we had like 14,000 of our $26,000 in sales come from Nextdoor, and that's a free application.
Absolutely. And are you guys just having people tag you on that, or are you responding on there? Have someone monitoring that site?
Yeah, so I've been kind of doing some guerrilla marketing. I've actually got banned from one of the Nextdoor sites, unfortunately. I try to be, a little bit slick about how I go about, sliding in a little bit of business, but making it, look natural. But people tag us, people recommend us all the time. One of our assistants that we're going to bring on this year was actually someone that we found on Nextdoor. So a lot of people recommend us. We're super highly recommended on Facebook if you see our reviews. And we're frequent. That's the biggest thing. You stay in front of people's face, they remember you. And when it comes time to make a decision about a pool or a spa or a fireplace or some type of landscaping, they think of you first because they see you most often.
That's awesome. And one more thing on the digital marketing social media side, I'm super interested, and I know you do a good job. 266 comments on your blog post today. How did it? Yeah. Has it always been like that? How are you getting people to engage like that on your blogs?
A lot of my marketing that I use. So there's something on Facebook called a pixel, and you can put a pixel on your website so that it's similar to Nike. When you go to Nike's website and you see those nice shoes you love, and then you're like, oh, I don't want to make those, that decision right now to buy them. And you log off, and then you go on Google, and it pops up on the side of the screen. It's called retargeting. And I do the exact same thing. I send people to those links, to those blogs, and then I just continue to retarget them. So people are always seeing it, and they're almost forced, to respond or to look at it, to click over to see, what's going on in the website.
That's awesome. That's a great tactic. Now, Max, I want to take it back over to you. I have a question about the design side of things. What kind of taste or styles are you seeing with people and doing in their backyard in Michigan? Like what kind of are your favorite things to do these days?
My favorite thing to do is probably retaining walls. I definitely really like retaining walls. The Ucara product that we have, everybody loved it. It's fantastic. But there's a lot of people are getting, smooth modern patios, a lot of grayish and black tones, and I think everybody's trying to make the move towards, sharp and sleek instead of, the old tumbled look or the old 4x8 bricks. I think 2021 is going to bring a lot of crazy new things to the hardscape world.
Past 2021 and beyond, what kind of things are you seeing in the future other than the slick look?
People are just going to keep advancing new technology, and things are going to get better and more efficient. And I'm looking forward to the technological advances more than the aesthetic advances, because I think it can only advance so far aesthetically. But I'm definitely looking forward to things that will make us more efficient in building these things.
How have you guys gone about like your supply chain, getting products in and finding the right suppliers? Who kind of navigated those waters, and how did you get to a good place?
That's
Josh.
That's Max.
Yeah, Josh definitely started out this year finding a place for us to get supplies from. But they're always just, I don't like the vibe of the people there. So I just went from place to place until, I found a place that was right for us, and that happens to be Stone Depot. They're a great supplier. They can get me anything we need at any time. And, if there's ever an issue, they're happy to make it right. Very good people to work with, and very glad that we found them. It's just a lot of searching and trial and error.
Sure. Yeah, that's with most things as a new business, right? Trial and error.
Absolutely.
What is your guys' kind of target customer? I know Oakland County is kind of the region you guys are focused on, but what is really your ideal prospect or profile?
Yeah, that's a super good question. So I actually did a little bit of research into that, like who was our perfect customer. I think our best customers are like two types of people. You first have your, 35 to 40-year-old, first time having a kid, new home, new construction, or just moved into that location. So for example, Max, that's Paris. That's the big side project that we did. They just had a baby, just moved to a new home, and they both work. Ideally, they both work. So they have expendable cash to, make an investment into their backyard, into their landscaping. And then the second client is definitely going to be your 55 to 60, the client who has an empty nest, their kids went away. That's your Tom, Max. That's your Rodney. All those customers, those are our two ideal prospects.
I love how you have names to go with your ideal prospects to build this so Max can see like a clear picture. Like, this is the job that we want to go after.
Oh, these were all customers that we've had in the past.
Right. No, I love that. Just so that like those are the jobs that are the
perfect.
Oh
yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
They're definitely the best customers for sure. And the customers who want to get an idea of what it looks like beforehand, the design customers who are interested in going from design, 3D design, all the way to contract into the actual project, those are probably our best customers. It saves a bunch of time, a bunch of money, a bunch of headaches, and it just creates, more lines of communication for us and the homeowner.
For sure. That's awesome, guys. That's awesome. Where do you guys, you guys have had such astounding growth going from 20 to 200,000 in revenue over a year. And I know, Josh, when talking to you before the show, you guys have even bigger plans for this year. What are those plans, and what's your action plan to get there and carry it out?
Yeah, our goal for this year, we're going to do 2 million in sales for sure. We need 80 customers that want to do a project between 25,000 plus. So that's probably your patio, fire pit, seating wall, lighting combo, maybe a little landscape in there. So that's our ideal client. Your next question was how we're going to get there?
Yeah. What are you going to do differently than you did last year to get there?
Promote. I think that's the biggest thing, promoting, and doing it in a way that's kind of, friendly, that makes people feel like, oh, we've been with you the whole time. We've been with you on the ride from Odd Jobs blowing leaves all the way to doing full construction, pools, spas, backyards. So that's the way that I think we'll get to it. We definitely need more equipment. We definitely need better pricing strategies, to be more profitable on our projects, and we need some back office help as well.
Awesome. Max, anything you would add on to that?
Josh said that we need more equipment. I agree with that, but we also need to own the equipment.
Yep.
Because we spent an astounding amount of money, over 10% of our revenue, on equipment rental fees. Just from, what was that, April to November.
Yeah.
That's awesome. At least you guys sound like you got a good plan to get there. I'm super excited to watch you grow. Is there anything else that you guys would add that we don't know about Odd Jobs yet that you want the people to know?
We pride ourselves in having the highest standards of quality. The highest. We might not do the biggest jobs, and we might not do the prettiest jobs, but they will be the highest of quality jobs. They are built to last, and they are built correct.
Yeah. Max is definitely a stickler about quality, so it's really good to know that when a project gets started, I know that it'll get done to the T. Everything will be lined up perfectly. Nothing's going to leave, undone.
And this guy told me he didn't learn anything from the military that helped him in business. That's funny. Well, I think you guys are on the right path. I'm super excited just to watch you guys as young business owners continue to grow your business and, keep growing that revenue number, baby. And I want to end this show with one tip for professional people from each of you. Max, can you kick us off?
Be consistent and show up.
That's great advice. Josh, you got anything to top that?
Yeah, I think communication is huge. Speak to people, figure out why they want to solve the problem that they're calling you in for. So in your case, then, insurance, why are you looking to get insurance? Why now? Figuring out that why and really working with them to solve the main problem. It'll go really far, and it could open up a bunch of opportunities for you.
Yeah, that's great advice from both of you. Be consistent and start with the why. Guys, thanks so much for coming on and sharing your story. It's been awesome talking to you. I've learned a lot just in this short conversation. And if people want to hear more about you or get their patio redone this summer, where can they find you guys at?
They can find us on Facebook, Odd Jobs LLC. They can find us on Instagram, oddjobs.mi. They can find us on Google. They can find us on Thumbtack. They can find us on YouTube to watch our designs, 3D designs that are on YouTube. We've got 12 videos. If you haven't seen them yet, spend some time and watch them. They're pretty cool. And you can find us all over the web. We're going to be promoting, and we can't wait to work with everybody who sees this.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for listening. And remember, keep it professional, people.